John, I want to buy the helmet. Oh, John.
Go through your head.
We'll find out. All right, here we go. Overwatch 2.
Welcome, everybody, to
What's up,
BlizzCon.
Jeff?
We know that you all want to hear more about Overwatch 2. Allow us to invite you behind the scenes to explain more of what we're doing and why.
Everybody, please hit record. Fingers crossed. We lost Scott.
It's off to a good start.
This is going great.
We've been assembling one of the best teams that I have ever worked with.
I'm nervous.
And I'm so proud of the progress that we have made together.
Bro.
We really liked the stylized.
What the fuck?
Down. Imagine that it's coming forward, boom, boom. This starts to spin.
The scale and the scope of this game have meant that we've needed to grow substantially.
We have to. Sorry. Let me start over.
Overall, I think we've done incredibly well as a team moving to work from home.
Oh, shadow play. There have definitely been challenges, but the team is really putting everything we've got behind this game.
To me, it's the next big step in the Overwatch universe. New heroes, game modes, major story beats.
With competitive and PvE, I see Overwatch 2 as the Overwatch for all of my friends.
We're always inspired by what story and franchise development does with the animated shorts.
One of the things, John, that I'm noticing, if you look at the what?
I'm super geeked out about Overwatch 2.
That's a hell of a skill tree.
Can't wait for people to play this.
If you look at the where it shows the people's faces on the left, if a character has a skin, it shows that skin.
Thank you so much for your patience so far.
It's a little thing, but I noticed it like really quickly.
Look at
But bro,
Overwatch 2.
that tree, holy shit! PvP new maps and role updates. Here we go, John.
All of our players at home, they want to see one of the new maps that we've never talked about before.
Really? I can just talk about anything that I want to.
Yes.
You're serving this up to the guy that is like unintentionally leaked information in past interviews.
You can do it officially now.
Okay.
All right, let's see it. Come on.
One of the maps that I'm most excited for.
What are we getting?
In Overwatch 2 is our Rome map.
Rome? John.
We always want Overwatch to feel like this globe-trotting adventure for
Holy
our players.
shit!
So we're having a lot of fun coming up with the Overwatch version of
Bro!
We wanted a very romantic, sort of this powerful feeling of old world architecture. One of the most exciting things for me is the early building of these maps, where we get to sit down together with key people from the environment team, level designers, effects groups. We'll spend some time talking about moments in the game that we really want to see, like the Colosseum or a grand view of the hills of Rome in the backdrop. And then we'll go back and do a paint over, or we'll do a concept painting of certain things based on that.
We try to draw inspiration from as many different sources as possible. For example, one of our environment artists had just taken a trip to Rome, and he returned with thousands of pictures and was so excited to work on a map set in Italy.
There's a lot of ancient architecture in Rome that represents the empire that.
Did that person just say Italy and then now they're talking about Rome again?
Some of the things that are destroyed in real life, we kind of rebuilt in a kind of an Overwatch style.
It's one of the most beautiful pieces of environment art that I think we've made for the entire game, and it just absolutely took my breath away.
John, this map looks beautiful.
Can we reveal more maps?
Yes, Scott. Scott, why don't you have the honor? Why don't you reveal, like, is there an artified, like, let's pick an artified one.
John,
I know what map I want to talk about. It's the one that I just get super excited about.
They're releasing two maps?
New York City is just an amazing Overwatch location.
What?
We're really
John, what is
to make it as authentic as possible while still putting this Overwatch spin on it.
There's a lot of amazing buildings and architecture pieces that just, especially for artists, stands out a lot. And they usually use this kind of Art Deco style from the 1920s, 1950s.
We started in an area that's a little bit like the Village. There's some smaller shops there. There's
Dude,
fire
this is
station, little pizza places, and things that people that are familiar with New York City will either recognize or maybe see.
This
the
may not be the
reference
content that
we're
everyone
trying to
wanted,
make with
you know
some
what I
of our
mean?
Different locations.
But
It
Jesus,
feels
this
like
is
something
fucking cool.
You haven't seen in other games before because it's uniquely Overwatch.
Well, we should move on. Otherwise, we just have to.
This reminds me of
reveal
Spider-Man.
more
Ooh.
maps, so-
Yes, release more.
We were talking about PvP.
Yep.
And, you know, one thing that I think is really interesting about PvP in Overwatch 2 is some of the philosophical changes we're making to the approach.
PvP feels different and new. We're upgrading our combat feel. The roles are playing differently. When it comes to all new maps,
The
it's
roles
a
are playing
pretty
differently?
big departure from where we
The
are.
fuck do they mean by
online
that?
right now. So I can't wait to see where we end up with it by the time we launch this thing.
We're also experimenting with the idea we call role passives, which
Role
are passive
pass-
abilities
wait,
that
what?
a hero can have based on what role they are.
Oh!
For example, currently in our internal builds, the tank heroes all have knockback reduction against them, and they also generate less ultimate charge for enemies that are shooting at them. Damage dealing heroes have a movement speed bonus, which is great for flanking around the map.
Oh, that's
And,
kinda cool.
healing
Actually, I really like
heroes,
that.
Support heroes have automatic healing that kicks in after they haven't taken damage for a while, very similar to Mercy's passive.
Bro,
with a limited
all...
rate.
One of
What?
the more shocking changes that we've been exploring in Overwatch 2 PvP is a change to the tank role entirely. That's applied to all of the tanks. We want to try to make them more toe-to-toe brawlers and less characters that just stand back and protect other people.
So, for example, for Reinhardt, we've given him 2 charges of Fire Strike, so he can throw Fire Strikes a lot more aggressively,
Jon?
more often. Also, his charge, he's able to cancel it now, and you can steer it more aggressively, so you can
What?
not quite turn a corner, but you can definitely more accurately pin targets. And because you can cancel it, it allows you to use it much more aggressively and, you know, really go after those key targets without feeling like you're going to sacrifice, you know, all of your positioning, everything to get there. He's almost more terrifying now with us to be able to unleash his full arsenal more often than kind of just being the guy with a shield.
The changes to Reinhardt that we're trying, and they might
Oh
not
my
shift.
God,
That's
bro.
just reality. But the changes that we're trying right now are
Double
to try
fi-
to embrace more of that instinct that players have when they want to play a big burly character that looks aggressive.
Double fire strike,
and feels
canceling
like it should
like
be
charge. Oh my god, dude. And that's just for Rhine. That's just Rhine. Like
Shortly
what?
after BlizzCon, we spun up this group, our combat field group, to really just work on what happens when a player holds the trigger.
We're putting a ton of effort into looking at all of our characters and trying to give them even a more visceral weapon feel.
From sound to VFX to animation to the design of these units, all new sounds for a lot of our weapons in the game, and a whole new sound system.
Oh, that sounds-
that's
that's-
driving it. And
That's gonna be weird.
We leveled up the rest of the game.
Oh, Sojourn.
When we first started
Bro,
working
Sojourn
on
looks
Overwatch,
wild.
you know, we spent quite a bit of time
Oh,
working
Sojourn.
on gunfire sounds and just general combat feel to make it feel really awesome. We're revisiting pretty much everything. Nothing's off the table. So we're
I do
looking
love
at
the way it
even,
looks, though. It
you know,
look.
small things
Is it
such
just
as
me or does it look
quick melee
better?
attacks that every hero has. So they have kind of new audio pass, a new kind of feel and visual effect. when you
There
hit
we go.
things.
One of the bigger efforts we're undertaking for Overwatch 2 is what we're calling our Weapon 2.0 Sound Pass. What this is a big overhaul to the weapon systems in the game. That means the way the gun feels in your hands, you could feel the ammo running out as you're getting lower on the clip. We've really tried to amplify those sounds to better encapsulate the gameplay.
That
and
is
the
really
gunplay
cool,
that
dude.
comes
Like, shit.
with Overwatch 2. Another key for the weapons was getting them to feel like they're in the environment. This meant working with Convolution Reverb. It's a new system that we've implemented into Overwatch.
What
It's
now?
a way that we can capture the acoustics of an environment and transport it onto the sounds that we're using. So we went and captured tales of guns in different environments through our weapon shoots.
Bro, what? Fuck off. There's no way the Widows is
And
going to
then
sound
we've
like that,
cut them
right?
and applied
I
it
want
so that
this
we
job.
can support
I
a
want
lot
this
more
job.
environments. Now we're
It
supporting
needs you to go out into the
outdoor,
field and just shoot a gun randomly.
urban outdoor, warehouse tales, tight tunnels.
Dude, that's
small
wild.
rooms, and it gives a lot more presence
Yeah,
to the
so
weapons and the way that they react
subtle, but
in
like
the
you
world.
really
The
notice
shooter
it.
genre has
It's
evolved
really
a lot
nice.
since Overwatch 1 came out. On top of
That's
that,
what I'm
I think
saying,
we
right?
really
Like, I
got
feel like
pushed
it's
the
like the whole like
visceral nature of how we
expectations
do
things that people
combat.
said.
So we
This
focused
is
a lot, not
wild,
just
dude.
on
They're just showing
the
a lot
wonderful
of the
sound
like
effects, but
quality of
also
life
with
stuff.
how the gun moves as you shoot. You know, so you can really feel every single
Oh, look
shot
at
leaving the
Sommer's
chamber.
gun,
And
dude.
there's a lot of
Sommer's gun looks so
subtle little
good.
tweaks that we have to do on the
God,
gameplay
man,
engineering
this
side
is
to make
fucking
it
awesome.
feel really visceral. Everything from making sure that
Every
the
time they
camera
show
stays crisp,
Sojourn,
making sure that if you
I'm
get
getting
shot,
pissed because
you
they're
know
not showing
exactly
her
these
abilities.
tight indicators show up on the outside of your reticle. All these things play into making the game feel not just tight and responsive, but also modern and up to date.
Like, I feel like I need
Take
to be looking at
76, for
every
example.
single
What we
thing now.
wanted to do in Overwatch 2 with
Like,
this
ability-wise.
was make it really feel incredibly powerful, and that happens with a bunch of different elements that mix together. But it really feels like the gun.
You know, after they said about the Reinhardt change.
Control. A lot of that comes down to this camera shake technology, where every time you fire the weapon, you want to feel like it's running through your entire body, and the camera shake gives that extra bite to every single shot out of the chamber. It makes
Okay, I
it
see
feel
that.
really great.
It's very subtle.
You guys got a sneak peek of Sojourn from last BlizzCon. She's been under development for quite a while, and she's actually quickly at this point become a lot of
what?
people's favorites in house. When we looked at Overwatch when it was originally created, there was a lot of heroes
Sojourn
that were
looks
made
really cool.
from a gameplay standpoint, kind of surrounding a weapon type. For example, Farah
I wanna
was
see
based
her
on a
build,
rocket
so
launcher
decent.
hero.
Right, well,
Widowmaker is clearly like kind of the sniper. We thought there was a weapon that was kind of missing that would be a lot of fun to play with, and that's a railgun.
A
It's so
railgun?
much fun in the playtest to have this really powerful shot that can
What?
rip through enemies if you really are accurate with it. And she's all about that aim skill. So if you got that aim skill, you'll love it.
What?
We're still exploring new game modes. And we're also
Dude, that's her ultimate. Her ultimate's a fucking ray gun.
older game modes
A rail
that
gun.
people are more critical
railgun,
of.
yeah.
You know, we're of the mindset maybe 2CP doesn't exist in Overwatch 2.
What?
Maybe there's a new cool game mode that replaces it.
Like Push?
We really want Overwatch 2 to feel like the next
I know the Push is one,
evolution,
but
a true sequel to the first game, not an add-on. It's not a small part. It's not an extension of the original game. This is an evolution and a replacement to the original game, and I think it's exciting.
hero missions. Here we go, John.
Hero missions are
Getting
probably
into it.
one of the things that's the hardest to wrap your head around if you've never played one of them.
Okay, start mission.
The goal around hero missions is for these to be this co-op PvE experience.
I personally only play competitive mode. Like, I'm all about that competition. And I have friends that they don't want to do that at all. So I'm really looking forward to a game that I can play hours and hours with my friends who aren't in competitive. And it's also something that I'm interested in.
Hero missions are the content that people are playing as they are leveling
That
up
mode
their
said
heroes.
collect
And
the
so
final
for a
canisters.
system like this,
Defend the
to really
uplinks,
sing,
deactivate
you need
terminals.
A lot of missions. We don't want players
Wow.
to feel like they're just in this grind to get to the top.
Oh,
There's
that
a lot
was
of really
that was
good
wild.
back-end technology that
I'm
we're
gonna turn it down real
exploring.
quick. Did you see that when the Pharah was flying and the Mercy was pocketing her, in the bottom left it showed the Mercy's health? Like right here, it shows the circle and it shows you a thing showing you where she is, so you know where she is compared to you.
To that much content, still have like different sets of
Is that
enemy
true for
units that
everybody?
people will be
I
fighting
think so,
against.
'cause
and there's different hero mission types.
We'll have to see here in a minute,
At the same
but
time,
tell you where
hero
everybody's
missions can
focused,
take
yeah.
place in all of the multiple maps that we've done.
that's fucking cool though. That it shows you like where she is and her
Yeah.
health.
Like if you're like Reinhardt,
It's a
that'd be
huge challenge for the art
Building the
team.
line.
We take maps.
Oh yeah,
that
I mean
a
shit.
lot of people
Knowing
love and
where
Ryan, so
recognize,
seeing her
and we
health
had to
drop,
add
puts
a
up the
lot
shield.
more art and level design to it.
In this one hero mission playtest, we came up to an area in King's Row that usually has a gate on it. Suddenly that gate opened and I saw a new area of King's Row that I had never seen before.
You may be playing
Wait,
a payload game
did-
type, and the payload may decide to take this new route instead of going the usual route.
That
What?
was really, really cool. It was like this eye-opening special moment.
That's kind of cool because it just opens up new areas of maps that Oh, this is
Land,
cool.
our
You see
lead
this?
Tech artist on the environment side.
On the
very
Anubis
early
map?
On our own free time, made a prototype of a sandstorm on the Temple of Anubis map.
And at the time, we didn't know what we wanted to do with that, but it looked awesome.
it does
We
look
looked at it and
awesome.
went, oh my god, we absolutely have to do this.
So we put some new technology in place that allows us to do this dynamically. You start the mission off, clear day. Midway through the mission, suddenly this sandstorm or heavy weather would show up.
It made the world just feel so much more alive.
That's cool, dude.
So cool.
There's a sunset, daytime, nighttime, but depending on where you are in the world, these look different. California or Hollywood would have what we call a California sun. In New Bonnie, there's a great African sun that happens there. You start to get a sense of space and mood. This is what really brings the levels to life.
For me, the dynamic world's exciting. Just seeing these dramatic landscapes, the wind and the atmosphere blowing by. It's a much more cinematic experience for the player.
Jesus.
Before you start a mission, you look at a map. It's nighttime in Necropolis, or there's a sandstorm in Necropolis. Players can make some comp choices based on knowing this information. Characters like Hanzo or Widowmaker start to be a little more valuable because they have abilities that allow them to see through the sand more clearly.
Are we going to talk about any of the types of objectives in hero missions?
Yeah, let's talk about the objectives. Players are being asked to do different things
Alright,
from
reach
one
gates,
hero
destroy
mission to the next,
defenses.
so that they all feel really fresh to the player.
For example, we have Gather and Return, where you're trying to go and grab these different canisters to
Ew.
safeguard them so they don't go off and affect the population in a negative way. It creates this really cool tension in the world where, on the one hand, you're trying to split up and go grab all these canisters to be as efficient as possible.
John.
Now you're having these sort of special
They're fucking. I mean, I don't like anything where it's like, go get this and put it here. I've never liked anything like that. I mean, I feel like it would be fun with like Yumi and Rob because we'd be fucking with each other, you know.
Yeah.
But like,
Ideas, and
I don't
just
know.
internally, we have names like Wall of Death, Scavenger Hunt, and Kill Quest, and all these new mechanics
Run,
and
escape.
enemies for people to experience.
I mean, this stuff looks cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie,
After
but
night, play different hero missions, and then work through the progression system, leveling up their heroes.
progression and traits, John. Talents. Here we go.
In 2019, we started to talk about progression, and we showed
Oh
the
my
very
God, this is gonna be
early
wild.
version
Yeah,
of
see,
our
there it is, John.
talent
That was the
system,
early
which I
talent.
think was really cool. We had that one talent where like Meg became the rolling
What?
snowball, which was a big hit. We've really blown that system out.
I'm real excited about talents. You can play the same hero in so many different ways. Now with the skill tree, you can have fun every night doing different things and kind of experimenting.
Yeah, the talent system
Huh?
is really deep and rich, and every single hero has different trees. You might
Bro, what?
open up 76's tree, and as you're leveling and picking new talents, you're starting to feel your hero change. We've had some pretty hilarious versions of the healing one where his biotic field travels with him. It also repulses enemies. We called it the snowplow
What?
build, where 76 is like running through spaces, pushing enemies away from them.
Designing these is super
What?
fun. 'Cause it's like we get to break all the rules that we've sort of established for ourselves, and we get to really take the gloves off
Dude.
of crazy things like Junkrat can dual wield grenade launchers,
Hey, Mercy was just
and
attacking
Mercy
us
be able
with
to area effect res their whole team at once at super long range through walls. It's been a ton of fun, kind of like mad scientists making all this stuff.
You're all used to using.
Dude,
these
they
kind
said
of kinetic
Junkrat with 2
weapons, like
grenades.
Soldier 76's rifle, or fire attack, like what Reinhardt's Flame Strike does. As soon as you start to mutate these things with talents, all of a sudden maybe you're doing freeze damage or electrical damage. But it gives the animators a bunch of crazy opportunities. You know,
What?
the animations are going to change to show them freezing and shattering. And if you shock someone with a lightning attack, they can shake in place and stun, maybe chain to other enemies. All sorts of stuff to make you feel like you're controlling the battlefield in novel ways.
As a huge RPG nerd myself, the first time I opened up the talent
Dude, look
tree
at Ryan's
system,
tree,
like,
dude.
oh my
Crusader,
gosh, this
Juggernaut,
is my
Guardian.
love language. Like, I just want
What?
to plan, and I want to see like where do I want
Dude.
to invest, and how am I going to play
Was that a
this character?
freeze?
Yes, it's so
Did
great.
you see
Like,
that?
You start at the bottom of the
that
tree.
freeze hammer?
Like,
Yeah,
It was a
like,
freeze
like,
strike.
Tracer gets to do what? And then you start working and kind of planning how you're gonna get down there. It's like, it's so fun.
Oh my God. Enemy units, null sector. Here we go. Another good thing to see.
When we look back at BlizzCon 2019 and we talk about some of the criticisms that we had, one of them as a development team that we felt was that the combat was just not engaging enough. So
Okay.
the fact that our combat wasn't highly engaging to us as players meant that we had a problem with the enemy units and that they just weren't feeling interesting enough.
Just because we show something to the public, it doesn't mean that that is what it's going to be. If we make discoveries where things aren't working how we want, they're not reading how we want, they're not fun enough, we're totally down to reinvestigate, reiterate, and just really find ways to level kind of all aspects of things until they feel good.
I would say a major focus of
What do
all
you-
of 2020.
What do you think, John? Do you
was
think
to
we're gonna
make
get?
the
Whoa!
null sector enemy units more engaging, and some of this
Holy
was
shit! Did you see
adding
how many
new units
fucking new
and
people there were?
evolving other units that we had.
Interesting combat for us is varied combat for us. So
I was gonna say, do you think we're gonna get any new hero other than Sojourn?
Overwatch 2. Sometimes we're just going to ask you to get someplace.
I mean, what?
Sometimes
I mean,
we
what?
might
We
ask
got
you to
20 minutes
execute
left.
something across the map while
We got
it's
20
being
minutes.
attacked. And
They
so
haven't
different
shown
type of
anyone because
spawn,
I've been
and it's a
purposely
different type of
looking
units that are in
on the
there,
corner
and
on the
it's a
side
simpler
here to see if they
objective.
have.
There's a lot of units Aaron is talking about. Lots of different units, lots of different types. They serve different purposes. You do different things to them. It's really going to help a lot of us find the fun and make sure that Overwatch 2 is a blast.
Dude, this game's
One
gonna
of
be
those
awesome.
sets of enemies is what we internally call objective units, and they're typically units that don't even attack players. The simplest version would be something like the Breacher.
It's two legs with this huge bomb on its back. It was built.
Dude, look at this thing.
Slowly and methodically march towards its
Bro,
objective.
what?
And then it transforms, and the bomb opens up like a flower. It starts spinning and charging up. And you
Dude, that's
hear this
cool
awesome
looking.
sound, and you know
What?
a little bit of time before it's going to explode, and you have to take it out.
We have units like the slicers, which you guys have seen before. They're little, we call them the chickens. They're little chickens. They run really fast.
Little chickens.
We have a guy we're experimenting with right now who flies and drops these bombs that create these kind of ever-expanding smoke fields that you have to escape from, but because they're super deadly, so you really get to use your mobility options to kind of escape that.
There's things like the Polar. You could be moving through
Dude, look at this character.
darker alleys, and as soon as you hear that Polar spawn, it suddenly becomes like really spooky and kind of scary.
This very tall, elegant-looking character that's blindfolded. 3 orbs that circle around her as her eyes, and we basically spun those orbs around her head as a big tell, launched them at the player, and then it activates this tractor beam, and it's bringing you in, and then you get this awesome
What?
anticipation of the air opening up, so you know what's about to happen.
Dude.
One thing we've just recently been experimenting with is this idea of elite units. We didn't want to elite
There
units
has to be a
feel like
hero
they're
based
just,
like that.
Oh, this guy's got double
Has
health
to
and
be.
double damage. We want to make sure the elite units feel like they have different behaviors and different
Has to
attacks.
be.
So, for example, an Omnic Grunt, normally he just he fires his gun, he dies pretty simply. If you fight elite grunts, his weapon fires in a burst fire pattern. It's very deadly if you're close, and if you manage to take them out, they don't just die right away. They instead can crawl on the ground towards you, and you try to back away.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Whoa, they crawl really fast.
Artillery at
Crawl faster than
BlizzCon,
they
we're all
walk.
just
Doesn't make
staring at
sense.
this.
Yeah,
like,
Jesus.
What are we going to do to level this up?
One of the things we really felt wasn't coming through was the damage states. We intend for players to shoot these guns off, but currently it's not reading as something that can happen in the game easily.
We change the design, we change the animation, and we go back and forth and just continually iterate.
We decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna just delete half of these damage states, so now it's super readable.
From an animation standpoint, we decided on spinning barrel version. Just did this really nice kickback.
Oh.
The tip of the barrel opens up when it's about to fire and shifts into place, and boom!
That's really kind of
Really
cool
amazing
looking.
to be fighting an artillery unit, and you can see the guns on the side, and as you're shooting the guns, they're actually visibly taking damage, and then you can blow them off, and it reacts and kind of stumbles to the side, and really makes you feel like you're there, and it's super fun.
In a lot of the stuff we've showed so far, you're fighting null sector. These are evil killing machines intent on marching you down. The way you're going to stop them is by shooting them, and we want to make sure that feels responsive and visceral. Really making sure that when they take a hit, it feels like their whole body has been punched, almost like hit by a truck. That's what really sells this fantasy that you're playing these superheroes. One of the cool pieces of technology that we created was what we call chain hit reactions. Oftentimes you'll find null sector bunched up, marching maybe a half a dozen units abreast.
So if you hit one of them into another one, they kind of
They're gonna
bounce
knock
off
them
each
to their
other?
knees. So we make that happen.
Oh, that's
It
kind
turns
of
out it's
cool.
really fun too.
New hero looks.
One of the things that we showed last year at BlizzCon was the new looks for our heroes. The theory kind of going in was like, you want to preserve...
I don't know what I
essence
think
of your
about like
hero,
the Mercy
but
look
also
now.
kind of show that heroes evolved and kind of changed and moved
I love the
forward.
Genji
So
look, but I want
we
the
have a
hood
lot
up.
more new looks. So I'm excited to see how
Oh, let's see some of
players
the new
and fans
looks.
react to all of the ones that we've done so far.
Come on.
Maybe we'll share some of those new looks today, which would be cool.
We're going to reveal McCree's new look for Overwatch 2 as well as Pharah. And we're really excited to show off some of our first villains.
McCree and Pharah.
With Reaper and Widowmaker.
Oh!
But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about technical wear, kind of like technical clothing. What that really is using very techie fabrics, as well as having very intricate but functional straps designed in a way that it's very aesthetically pleasing. With McCree,
okay, so there's Cree.
Approaches. He's got this classic
dude.
look that is really hard
Look
to
at his beard now.
if you try to make him too sophisticated or too
I think that's
techy,
the
it
only
might
real
not
change
feel
they
right.
did, right?
But as a concept artist, you always want to change things around. And try
The gun looks a little different too,
and
actually, now that I
silhouette.
said
So
that.
we did identify as Red Serape as the main thing for McCree. We also tried a couple different things with McCree's cowboy hat. We didn't really want to mess with that too much because that's a very iconic part of him. So that's another piece that we kept.
I like
We
it
tried
though.
some retro cowboy looks that mixed in some tech here and there. Some that were a little bit more techy than others. Some that were a little bit more.
I think they're gonna show like through like this and then show
a
it.
little bit of a longer beard.
Yeah, the beard.
Really
Look
gives
at
him
that,
a
dude.
nice, kind of like a more aged look.
I like
What's
that.
different about Pharah than some of our other heroes is Pharah's
All right,
completely
Pharah.
covered in armor. We didn't want to change her silhouette too much. It was more about experimenting on different colors. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, it just kinda looks a little bit brighter, right?
To harken back to those original Overwatch colors of white and blue. One of the things that we wanted to update on Pharah was her visor. Instead of being completely opaque and reflective, we tried a little bit more of a transparent approach, and being able to see through it a little bit
So
now
far,
allows us to see some more of her emotion.
the two characters.
Reaper was actually the one that I
John.
was very excited to work on.
Bro,
because
John,
we see a lot of
what?
potential in how we can
What?
his cloak and his cowl.
He has like a fucking like he has this like collar popped. His like mask is silver, like metallic now.
Takes with the first pass, like completely silver arms.
Could you imagine if they gave him metal arms like that?
Reaper's mask is obviously
just showing the
pretty
guns off the whole time.
But the thing you'll notice immediately is that it's now completely silver. Instead of the bone white, he's got this like almost like deadly edgy silver that just gives him that classic Reaper look.
Dude, this
with Widowmaker, we started with the idea stage, exploring a breadth of ideas.
Okay, how'd they fuck with the girl?
A more insectoid approach, treasure hunter. One of them made her feel like a classic Bond villain, so we kind of steered it back towards one of the more cyberpunk-looking ones, almost like a futuristic.
Bro, I love the
Fatale,
hair.
which is basically what Widowmaker is, but she even feels more.
I love the boob
so
armor.
I'm super glad that we went down this route. We played with different hairstyles too. Widowmaker has the really long ponytail that's really a key part of her look. And really liked the hairstyle on.
Not a fan of the boob armor.
More braid, and it was really interesting.
That doesn't
look
protect the
also
underboob.
preserves Widowmaker's original silhouette with that long ponytail.
We've been working a lot with our domino engine and making our cloth look better. Now that we have this cloth tech, we're going to be able to make some really cool, unique silhouettes that will help them stand out from other heroes. We put a lot of time and effort into our face rig, and what I mean by that is we're going to be able to get really close to these characters, and it's going to feel really cool. It is absolutely worth the time and the effort to invest in the technology, and that way we can make these
from them saying that they were doing very subtle things, it doesn't
It's
look
been
that
super
subtle
exciting
anymore.
Working on the new looks for Overwatch 2, and it's just been so inspiring to watch the team try things that we've never tried before, and I just can't.
Now, is that just me, John, or like none of that looks subtle? Like they said before, like they're making little subtle changes to characters. From what they just sounded like, they're redoing everything.
I mean, they still have the same like flair of the original.
We saw that some of the heroes
But
got
you can
back
definitely see
together,
some of them
but
change
we're
more than
also
others.
seeing
Yeah.
That there seems to be a second
Like Pharah, I don't
huge
think changed much at
omnic
all.
uprising. We're gonna learn who's behind that uprising.
Yeah, who is behind the
why
uprising?
that's
Is it
happening,
Talon? Is it
how
Doomfist?
globally
Is it
spread
new
it?
people?
The story and franchise development group, they were really the torchbearers of what the big story.
Oh, look, a
that
soldier
we're
in
gonna
there.
tell for this
Damn,
game.
she's thick.
We have a lot of interaction with them. They're working on in-game cinematic intros and outros for every one of our story missions.
It's been really great to see this collaboration grow and develop. The story is just a little more integrated into our missions than it
Good,
ever
it should
really
be.
has been before. All the available heroes get dialogue for a given mission. We have NPCs. We have multiple hero choices.
We have all sorts of events that are happening that are driving players to interact with each other or parts of the environment or other characters.
The world of Overwatch is this bright, shiny future.
I love the Toronto.
So,
The look at the
bright,
Toronto
shiny
map.
future and create conflict in it. How dark can the world of Overwatch go?
The different challenges that these characters are going to have to overcome in Overwatch 2 are things that they haven't ever dealt with before or dealt with on this scale. So what we had to do was literally strip it down to those bare bones of where are these characters in their lives. Overwatch has been disbanded. There's a situation where the world's in trouble again and the world needs the heroes again, but they're not allowed to be doing what they were supposed to be doing.
We started to book these off-site locations so we could brainstorm over and over different versions of what the Overwatch 2 story campaign could be.
And we basically had these whiteboards that we were carting around everywhere.
The room was filled with whiteboards and we would just write every day story beats with the characters and who was doing what and where, and oh my gosh, we forgot this character.
We had these giant sticky notes, and each one of them would be a mission with a bunch of notes on it.
That's kind of cool.
You know, somebody say, well, what if we moved Rio to the end, and they'd physically grab it off the wall and stick it on the end.
And we did this for a while, you know, until we all felt that it was pretty close to what we wanted.
Then we could send it to our writers' rooms. The writers' rooms then had a much clearer direction of where we wanted this process to go.
Ultimately, we come up with something that we think is right for the game, and then we pitch it back to the game team, and they point out everything that we missed.
And that allows us to actually back up and go and make it right and make it better.
Because the scale of this story is so huge, it takes place over the whole world, basically. It just requires a constant iteration, constant refinement to make the story as best as we can make it.
From writing, we go to storyboards. The storyboards get crafted with the edit. From there, it'll go to a previs department where they'll start to flesh it out in 3D. Once we've kind of figured out our camera work and our cinematography, that'll then go to the animation department. And then we end up going right into the game engine.
One of our challenges was to figure out how to integrate
Reinhardt charging a bastion and him backing up like, no.
So the intro cinematic ends with this huge battle, this huge war. When you get into the game, it has to mesh and feel the exact same way and blend together.
We really are also trying to get the music to be equally as consistent from in-game cinematics straight through to the mission. Adam Burgess, our lead composer, has been working with the IGC team, with the game team, developing themes for all of the heroes, all of the locations.
As the cinematic director, whatever we're crafting should never override the gameplay. We want to make sure that the players'
Sojourn does
from
look
the
cool.
cinematic to the gameplay is seamless and it feels like a completely immersive experience.
I love that railgun.
The engineers, we have to
She
find a way
looks.
to actually make that come to
I
fruition.
know I said it earlier,
The
John,
Choreo
but she
tool is
looks
a tool that
dummy
allows
thick.
people to coordinate different events to happen at the same time. Like in Rio, if you played our demo, one of the buildings explodes, and so that kind of event needs to happen as you're running by, and you need to have it timed, because if it blows up too early, then you don't see it. It allows story moments in missions that interact with the environment, that interact with our characters.
The new tech, the new abilities that we have now are allowing us to push our storytelling farther than we could have previously.
What's also really powerful about Choreo is that, you know, if somebody has an idea, they can mock things up really quickly.
We got to show the
Yeah,
Widowmaker
Overwatch 2, Jagger.
introduction.
They're showing a bunch of
Casey was able to quickly put
new
that
stuff
really
for it.
rough prototype in Choreo. And Philip would come in and on the fly, he's making quick changes. They play tested something that would normally take
Oh, wow.
weeks. It was done
Whoa.
in like a matter of days.
That was cool.
Each story mission has its own custom map built for it, and these maps are absolutely gigantic.
India is one of our biggest maps, and it's a fun map because it has a few story beats that we've taken from recent comics and characters in the game.
We've written a history for each city so that the cities feel lived in. And I think that informs the artists so that they know like what it is that the city has been through.
Gothenburg was our chance to show
Gothenburg.
Torbjorn's workshop. We created a space that kind of fits his height. So there's, you know, step ladders and scalable tables.
That's fucking
We
funny,
designed
John.
the
Did you
space
hear
as if
that?
We were a Torb, you know?
That's
Multi-scale
fucking
is
step
pouring out of the
ladders.
wall. It's pretty epic when you walk into
Yeah,
it.
Torb.
Oh, they really did
Toronto
Torb
is
dirty.
under siege by Null Sector. When the players arrive here, there's a dynamic snowstorm. So as you make your way through the level, the snow is slowly
What?
building up. Suddenly by the end, the characters are caught in this gigantic snowstorm and they must fight their way through it.
That's fucking awesome.
In Overwatch 2, we want to give you choice to be able to play this character or that character. So we're designing a lot of systems around how their relationships develop over the course of the story missions in the campaign.
Caught in a blizzard, if you will.
All
Yeah.
on screen, all
Jagger,
at the
that's so
same
bad.
time. And it's
You're-
fantastic to actually see them all interacting and working together in ways that we've never.
I wonder how they're going to update Diva.
And hoped for it, but now it's actually happening.
It actually requires us to have a whole new branching dialogue system. If you happen
Shut
to
your
have
mouth,
Genji and
you
Mercy in the second mission of the game, you might get different dialogue.
Oh.
It's about their relationship.
Okay.
Our voice actors bring the characters to life.
Love their
in ways
voice
that
actors.
Everybody has fallen in love with, from inside Blizzard to the fans. Just to hear this collection of actors all together, all interacting, has been a real treat.
Yeah.
I wish people could see how many
Yeah.
people are involved.
He does the
when it
voice.
comes
He's
to something like
Revenant.
telling the story
Yeah,
of
he's
Overwatch.
John. So he's
It
Revenant
doesn't
as
just
well.
come from a singular person. It comes from a group, and it's a really talented, fun group that all works together.
We've been developing what we hope is one of the best stories ever.
Where we at?
There's some
John,
key
we got
story
4
moments
minutes.
that I'm really excited about, and I really can't wait to see how people react to it.
They're really not going to show us any new characters but Sojourn. In conclusion, yep, motherfucker.
We've been talking
really?
about the game, about this universe. I know you all love it so much.
Right now, we can sit down and have a night of Overwatch 2 and have it be
Oh,
a
lucky.
really fun experience.
I'm glad
And
that
I
you
think
can do that.
We need some more time so we can say it's perfectly polished in the way that we want it.
We've made such incredible strides since we first announced this and showed it to the community at BlizzCon in 2019.
The thing that
Excuses.
I'm most
Mhm.
excited about is that moment when we hand the game over to the players.
We want to create something
And
that
they
really
trash
moves
it
people,
because-
really touches people.
Because we've waited 2 years.
That's why we
debug your
do
own
it.
stuff.
We create the game because we want it to become part
There's
of
gonna
your
be
life
bugs.
and for you to experience it.
For Overwatch 2, we're upping the bar.
It's kind of 5 games in one. It's a huge undertaking.
The new tech and the new aesthetics for the new looks bring you closer to the characters that you love, and we're just getting started.
The fidelity of the gameplay experience is much richer.
We are making cinematics that push the boundary of what we can do to tell stories.
We want this dynamic world. We want things to feel alive.
I'm really looking forward to being able to expand the world of Overwatch for our players.
We're really trying to tell this epic story.
In order to make a game great, it takes time, energy, collaboration.
We have just an incredibly professional team of designers and artists.
Oh, it does. It definitely looks
engineers.
pretty.
We just love bringing this world to you guys. So many cool characters. It's just a blast working on it.
Our goal is for Overwatch 2 to be the worthy successor to the first game.
Damn,
To be the
Sojourn
next
is thick.
evolution and to be a true sequel.
We have big plans.
She has to be a tank. I mean, she has to be a DPS, right?
Finish line, and I know it's going to be awesome.
I would have thought so.
I thought she was going to be a support from what everyone said
That's what we want to try and capture.
at one point.
Jumping in, I'm playing.
But I mean, a railgun.
Be heroes.
Yeah. She's got to be DPS.
All right, so now we get a little break before we go into the voice actress stuff. I don't know, man. What are your thoughts, John?
I mean, they showed some cool stuff. I just kind of hope they would have shown more. It seemed like it was kind of like, I don't know, they showed a couple of maps. The maps were really cool. They showed some skills, a little bit of the skill tree. But, like you said, I kind of would have liked to see maybe some new characters or a little bit more gameplay or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it felt like everything that they've shown we've already seen almost. You know what I mean? Like the skill tree progression and everything, 100% brand new. We'll admit that was 100% brand new, and it looks fucking awesome. Like that, you know how many hours we're gonna have just fucking doing that, and just fucking around with that. It's like that's gonna be fun. The characters that they like they're like, oh yeah, we updated some characters, and then they show it, and I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, they updated characters. Like Reinhardt has like newer armor, he has his helmet off, he has a longer beard, he has a man bun. Like okay, like Mercy completely looks different. Winston has brand new armor. It's like okay, what are they gonna do for some of these newer characters, or some of these other characters? And it's like McCree, well he has a beard, or his beard's a little bit longer. Fucking Farah has a brighter color scheme. It was like, I mean, shit, they completely redid Lucio. If you look at Lucio's.
And Reaper looked pretty nice, too.
Reapers did look nice, but I mean, it's just like, it was one of those things, it's like out of the characters they could have shown you, they showed you probably the lamest updates, in my opinion, with it just being like, yeah, we added a collar to Reaper, and he has a silver skull now instead of a white skull. I don't know. That's like they showed us a little bit of Sojourn, and then they mentioned Sojourn, and like, oh yeah, by the way, you're getting Sojourn, and she has a railgun. Moving on. It's like, come on. They put more effort into telling us about the bad guys than they did the fucking brand new character they showed a ton of footage for. I don't know, man. I
probably just don't have enough information.
You would think that.
Not, like, nothing's set like in stone yet, so they don't want to say it and they get people's hopes up.
I don't know, man. If they don't have shit in stone on February 19th and this game's coming out anywhere between now and next year this time, there's a problem. The only thing I want to see real quick before I fucking get off of this is I want to see, because it says casting and voiceover director. I want to see if they kind of release a brand new character here, maybe. Doubt they would. Doubt they do, but you never know. Is she a new character? This lady here?
You just assume her gender?
Oh, sorry.
They love you so much and believe in us and this voice actor panel so much they did this. So I just want to give mad gratitude and love to the BlizzCon events team because they
Did she just say about how much love they gave? That bookcase looks fake. Tell me I'm wrong. Look at the bookcase. It looks fake.
I have no doubt that it is fake.
Alright, so let's see here. So they got Reinhardt, they got Reinhardt, they have May, they have McCree. I think it's Diva there as well. I think that's Roadhog's a voice actor as well, maybe. Nope. I don't know the one on the left.
the same page. So of course, we could not have an Overwatch panel without the mayor of BlizzCon himself, Lord Darren DePaul, also known as
Reinhardt. Yeah, this guy right here, John. Darren DePaul. He's the voice of Revenant.
I would hit a cameraman if I threw candy. It's not happening. Hi, I'm Darren.
Yay! That's right.
Hi, I'm Darren.
Because usually you're right in front of me with your big smiling faces, but you're not here, so you got to promise me that you're clapping at home.
Yeah, we're promising.
And
Yeah.
then of course we have to have
Roadhog.
our beloved dad. We have to have Soldier 76.
Oh, a Soldiers.
Reporting for duty. Yeah.
to be here. And really glad that you let me use my apartment. Thank you.
Bro, look, you can see the fakeness of the bookcase behind him. May.
Power female, totally kick-ass and wonderful.
Shh.
Our delicious diva, also known as Charlotte Chung.
Fuck, John. I am so bad right now, Diva.
And then, I mean, again, I mean, if I had my way, I'd have the whole.
She just had a baby recently because I remember them saying that the voice actress for Diva has now turned into her mech.
But we just had to. We love them all, but this is who we ended up with, and we've got our fabulous. I don't really think you guys have heard of Matt Mercer before. He's new.
Matt, how do you not? Okay, come on, man.
I want to introduce you to Matt Mercer for the first time. Also known
Matt
as
Mercer. Cree.
He even has a McCree beard.
Mm-hmm.
Soldier Dad's apartment.
Love it. And then we also really wanted to bring somebody new in to share.
New in.
You and to share
Sojourn.
her. So I'm so excited, so honored and privileged to introduce you to Jeannie Bollet, who plays Echo. So Jeannie.
God damn it, John. I'm so bad.
Yes, and I know you can't see our fans, but everybody, this is BlizzCon. These are our fans. Let's just pretend they're out there and say we'd love to.
All right. Yeah, that's it. We're good. We're good. Sorry. So, in review, John. BlizzCon behind the scenes, Overwatch 2. Maps look cool. Wish we had more character reveals. They put a lot into showing the enemy. They put more into showing the enemies than they did the traits, Sojourn, and like anything else. It felt like, which is cool. But at the same time, like they didn't show like Talon and like what Doomfist, Reaper, Sigma and all them are doing. They showed fucking Null Sector. I don't know, man. I mean, like what a bunch of the leaks had said is lower your expectations. They were lowered. The map stuff though was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The new gun sounds is kind of cool.
Yeah, that was.
The little things that we were noticing, like the Mercy pocket showing you where she is at all times. The fact that they show your skin down in the lower corner. The fact that it shows all of your teammates on the left in PvE anyway. So you can kind of see how everyone's doing, like, easily. Like I said, I wanted to see at least someone new. Someone brand new. We've seen Sojourn, we saw her last year. Wanted to see someone brand new. But other than that, though, I mean, it was what we thought it was going to be, right?
Pretty much. They didn't really exceed expectations.
No, not at all. So, let us know, guys, what you guys thought down in the comments. What were you hoping for? And what did you like most about it? I gotta say, I like the map environments. That was probably my biggest thing that I like from all that.
I think my favorite was the sound.
The sound.
It's just so fascinating.
Oh yeah.
The echo and the screen shakes and everything. That's just like so little details that make it look really nice when it finally comes out.
Yeah, exactly. You can tell they're putting a lot of time and effort into this, but the question will remain: is one, we have no idea when it's coming out, but two, will Overwatch as a franchise be slowly more dying than it already is without content? Because it's all. I mean, everything. All games right now are driven by content. Fortnite puts out content all the time. Call of Duty all the time. Apex Legends all the time. Overwatch does big events every now and then if they don't do that, then it's like a weekly challenge thing, and that's it. I don't know honestly if it can last a year and a half like that. Especially with no new hero or anything, which is the rumor. I don't know.
I mean, they'll last. It's just they won't do well. Their popularity is definitely going to drop.
Oh, I mean, already has a little bit, but I mean,
already has. Right. It's going to continue. It's going to get worse.
Yes. But, all right, guys. Depending on where you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Stay trouble, stay safe, and we will talk to you later. Bye. Matt Mercer does look like McCree, though, John. You are right.
Yes. You could tell he was the inspiration for the character.
Oh, 100%.
I can see him now walking in the interview, and they're just like, you know what?
You know what? Yes. Here. It's yours. But you didn't hear my,
Take our money.
you didn't hear my cowboy voice. It's fine. Here, take the money, take the role. We love you.
Thank you.